Hi bestie, welcome back. Today we're colouring from Bobbie Goods Day to Night colouring book, and I'm also using the 48 mid-tone Ohuhu markers. I'll have these linked below if you want to colour along. And today's page of the day that you voted for, let's have a little flip through. I did a little poll vote between this little music page and this sunset stroll page. I think it's called sunset stroll. Let me just double check. Yes, it's called sunset stroll, and you all voted for sunset stroll, so that's what we're going to be doing today. And I'm going to go for like a start of autumn kind of vibe, end of September, and I think it's going to be cute. I want to make these quite like orange little bushes and just put them in like some cute autumnal outfits. I think that would be really cute. Okay, so I'm starting with E490 deep orange as the base, and we'll have a little catch up while we do that base. This is so hard to open now. Anyways, so I have been gone for a little while and I've definitely missed colouring with you guys and just talking with you all. And if I'm honest, I've just been feeling a little bit overwhelmed with trying to balance creating new videos and also just like some changes in my personal life, which are all great. It's just, it means I might not have as much time to film these videos for you guys. So I am going to try something a little bit different, which I'm hoping to stick with because I really want to be able to put out some consistent videos for you all. So I'm thinking, instead of trying to like force myself to do once a week videos and then I end up, you know, feeling really bad about missing uploads, I'm gonna try and do 3 videos a month. So I was thinking every 1st, 10th and 20th of the month. So starting with this upload, which is going to go up on the 1st of October. If I just can stick to those 3 dates, and in your head, that will also help you to keep track if I've missed any uploads. If you just keep thinking 1st, 10th, 20th is when I can get new uploads out, and I'm hoping I can stick to that and that it can make life a lot easier, and also just make it easier for you to know when to expect an upload, because I feel like I've been all over the place trying to pick a day when to upload and stuff. So I'm hoping that helps solve that little issue. But you honestly were so sweet and so kind. I know I put out a community post just explaining why I'd been a little MIA and I was just taking a break to catch up a bit behind the scenes. And you're all so lovely. Honestly, I'm so thankful for everyone who is part of this little community. Okay, I think that's fine for the base. We're going to make it a little bit more orange with chrome orange YR170. So I think, yeah, that's good. I'll just layer that on top. And then to add some more depth to this, I'm gonna start with cadmium orange, which is YR190, and we're gonna do some little dots starting from the very bottom, and we're just gonna spread those out as we get closer to the top. And then I'll do some on this bush as well. And I'll keep that just on the side since we might go in and just make that a little bit harsher. I'm gonna grab dark suntan, which is E110. I don't know if I've already mentioned, but some people do ask what's the exact set I use. I use the 48 mid-tone Ohuhu set, so it is different from the basic 48 set, as well as like the 48 pastel sets. It's the mid-tone set, so just be really careful if you're trying to buy the same set as me online, because I think some people might have gotten confused and just bought the normal set. And I'll also put a discount code in the description from if you're buying straight from the Ohuhu website and you're not using Amazon. I do have a code that can get you, I think it's 10% off. So I'll have that linked in the description as well. I think I do need to grab a slightly deeper brown, but I think this is fine for now. Might blend that out a little bit. Yeah, I think that's nice. And then just for even more depth, I think let's do like mahogany, which is E060, and we'll just keep going with those little dots. Yeah, perfect. And just spread them out. And then lastly, just to bring that oranginess back into it a little bit more, I am gonna grab cadmium orange YR190 again and just blend it out at the bottom and then spread it out into those little dots again. I think that just keeps it a little bit more vibrant. Okay, I think that's looking perfect. I do also want to add on some like floating leaves, since I want it to really be like start of autumn kind of vibes. So I'm grabbing my pencil and eraser, and let's kind of just scatter those around where they're walking. So let's add a little leaf back here. We're just gonna do like a oval shaped leaf, like a little stem, and kind of just scatter them around randomly. And probably better to do them where there's like white spaces. And maybe down here as well. Yeah, I think maybe one up this side. Yeah, perfect. So, and to keep that simple, I will probably just make those little orange leaves, and then I'll go over them with my black liner so it doesn't bleed. So I'm just gonna grab, let's just do chrome orange to start with, so YR170. And then we'll make them a little bit more brown in a second. I think it makes sense to keep like the tips light to orange and then make, I hope that's making sense. And then I'm hoping to add like some wind type of action going on at the end. I did buy some new white markers actually from Sakura, the jelly roll ones, since the ones I was using had literally run out on me and I was tired of trying to force those pens out. So I've got E110 Dark Suntan, and I'm hoping to just do very light dots at the top. And then we'll grab Deep Orange, E490, and kind of just lay over where we went with the brown. And then I will grab that darker orange just to finalize it. Also, I'm thinking of all these things now. I did a poll online to see what your favorite Bobbie Goods book was, and I'd say that the majority of you voted for the Fall Winter book, so I have ordered that, and that should be arriving very soon. Well, I don't know how soon. I am in the UK, so I'm not sure how long that will take to get to me, but I think definitely by our like end of October upload, we should start colouring some pages from there, and I think it'll just be the perfect little book for like these colder months. Okay, so now I think I'm gonna use my black fine liner. This is just a random one that my husband got me, but I think you can find these like on Amazon. So it's just like a black fine liner like that, and I'm gonna trace around where we drew those leaves, and then I'll add like a line in the middle and then just some arched lines so they really look like leaves. So we'll start with this big one. Hope you can see what I'm doing. And I'm doing a line down the middle, and then just some arched like leaf shapes like that. So I'm just gonna do that all over. And then once that dries, I will grab my eraser and just erase where some pencil lines have been left over. Just gonna start up here. Okay, that's looking good. And then I think I'll leave these for now. I'm not yet sure, but I want to just make these green so that it's not... Or should I make them orange? I don't know. I didn't want to make it too autumnal. Because I could always just make these green instead and then keep these like orange. Ooh, okay, that's a bit of a tricky one. Maybe let me make them green. I think it will just help them stand out. But I won't do them just yet. Maybe we'll move on to this little character. So I was thinking of giving her like a cute little, like a little vest. Yeah, like a little knit vest and some cute jeans, and then make these Ugg boots. So that's what I'm gonna do. I think her vest will be pink. Just knowing me, it's gonna be pink. So I'm gonna grab shadow pink. So that's RV270. Okay, and as I mentioned before, I always do the clothes as just the marker first, since it avoids like bleed through. And then maybe we end her jump around here. And then I add my black fine liner around once I'm like really happy with how it's all looking. Because I think before I used to like draw my black lines on first, but then that would always end up with like the black bleed through. can see through to the next page. I really should start putting a protective sheet. I think I'm fine. Okay, that's good for now. And then I do want to make it like a really cute little jumper vibe. I think I can make it like maybe like a strawberry type of jumper. So I am just going to grab cadmium red. Okay, so I've got R160 cadmium red, and I'm going to use the fine liner side, so it's just a tip like that. And I think I'm going to make it strawberries. So I am planning on giving the cardigan like a little trim, so I'm going to try and stay inside. So I'm just going to do... Okay, that's not the best strawberry. I'm going to do little strawberries. Okay, I think that's enough little strawberries. And then I am going to do the little stems as well. I think let's use olive green. Yeah. So I've got G190 and I'm going to use the broad tip side and just like the little angle of it. And I'm just going to do little leaves coming off. Okay, I think that's cute. And then I will add the trim. I'm just going to color the teddy and the jeans first. So with the jeans, I'm going to do Antwerp blue. So we've got B290. And I'm just going to go all over the bottom half. Cute. And then for our little teddy, I think we'll keep it simple and do yellowish brown. Yeah. So I've got YR260. I'm super happy with that. I think I will make her ears a little bit darker, so I'm gonna grab deep orange. So that's E490. There we go. And we will just go around her ears. Yeah, I think that's cute. I will also give her a little bit of blush, and I think let's use Deep Orchard. So let's see where that's at. Oh, there it is. Oh, it's called Dark Orchid. Okay, so we've got RV200, and I'm just gonna use this size. So I'll do her nose first, and then just do her little cheeks. Very cute. And then I did promise I would do the black fine liner on her little vest. So let's try and make this look cute. Okay, so I'm gonna do just like a normal line where it meets the edges first. And then I'm gonna do a double line. And also around her neck, and then just do little black connecting lines to give like a knit effect. I hope that's doing what I'm hoping it's doing. Yeah, so I think we've got that. And then I'm gonna do her little brown Ugg boots, and then we'll move on to some other areas of the page. But so far, this is looking really good. I'm quite happy with this. So for her Ugg boots, I think the safest option is dark santan as the first layer, and then I'll do light mahogany on top. So we're starting with E110 Dark Santan. I may go over it with deep orange just to add a bit of warmth, since this is quite a cool brown. So I'm grabbing E490 deep orange, and we're just going to do a layer on top of the brown boots just to make them, you can't see it too much, but I honestly think it just adds a bit of warmth to the boots. And then I'll go over with dark mahogany, light mahogany, just to make her boots even darker. And I think we'll go for like a dark autumnal boot look for this one. Yeah, that looks so much better. And as always, I will add white frilly socks on. I might just wait a bit. I'm gonna also add like a boot line, kind of like how the Uggs have it, and along the bottom as well. but I'm just gonna wait a minute and figure out what colour to do her little bag first. I am thinking like a little blue, light blue bag could be cute and would probably go best with her little outfit. So let's grab smoky blue and do like a cute little blue denim bag for her. Or she could have like a red bag. Yeah, you know what? A red bag could also be really cute. Gonna pause on this. let's see what I do know what I want to do. Let me have a think. I could get started on maybe the little pots because I do want to do those green. So let's grab May green and olive green, and I will also just grab beige green to add some depth. Oh, that slipped off. I hope that hasn't dried out. It seems like that wasn't on the way that should be on. Okay, so we're gonna start with May green. So this is G170, and that's literally just gonna be the base. Actually, let's grab celery yellow. Yeah, okay. So we've got celery yellow first, and that will be almost like the highlight coming from the sunlight. So I'm going to do that on the inner side of each bush. Oops. I hope that makes sense, like since the sun is here and it would be facing that way, so the highlights would be on this side of the bushes. So I'm just going to do a quick trim. And I'll keep that on hand and then go into May green. These are very different greens, as you can see, but we'll make it work. So keep celery green on hand and then just blend the two together like that, and that looks perfect. So I'm going to keep going with that, and I think the best thing to do is just to loosely fit the caps on so I can quickly take them off. So going with May green at the bottom. And then going in with celery yellow, sorry, to blend those two together. So it won't look perfect, but I think it looks pretty well blended. This will be a little bit harder just because there are some like stairs that I'm trying to work around. But I think if I just do the top part and blend that whilst that's still wet. And I will just finish off with a bit more May green at the bottom here. And then to add some depth to those, I'm gonna use olive green first. So that's G190. And we'll just start with little clusters at the bottom, and they'll just sparsely spread out as we get closer to the top. And we'll do the same for this one. And I will do another layer of that. But I'm also gonna add on beige green. I'm not sure how well this will show up. So this is G240. If it doesn't show up super well, I'll do something different. Actually, yeah, that looks quite good. Yeah, okay, fab. So keep that much closer to the bottom while still spreading it out and a bit more clustered at the very bottom where it's more shadowed. That's actually layered perfectly. I'm really happy with that. I'm just noticing some gaps. And then just for even more seamless blend, I'm gonna use olive green G190 at the very bottom and just sort of blend that in. And then I will go back over again with beige green. Yeah, I think that helps it stand out even more. Okay, I'm super happy with that. We'll darken it if I need to, but I'm also just gonna add like a white trim and some white dots like afterwards anyways, so that will stand out a little bit more. just gonna put those colors behind me. Up next, I think let's have a think. Maybe I'll either do the boards up here, because I also want to do that as a little beach behind, so we do have our work cut out for us, guys. Maybe let's do this first house. We'll do some of these houses. So I'm gonna grab, I think I'm gonna make this like a grey stone kind of house, like a blue grey. So I'm gonna grab blue grey and then also cool grey and maybe neutral grey or red grey, and to do like little specks with. So let's grab blue grey, if I can see what that is. So I've got blue grey. I'm also gonna grab cool grey and neutral grey. So I'll show you my little lineup. I'm just turning the little markers around. So we've got blue grey, which is MG060. We've also got, oh, I grabbed green grey. I meant to get cool grey. Oh, there it is, yeah. Got cool grey, BG070, and neutral grey, CG070. So I'm gonna start with blue grey as the base. Which is very blue, but that's okay. I think it will contrast quite nicely against the sky. Okay, I think that's perfect. And next is we'll start with cool grey. We're gonna use the broad tip end. So we've got BG070. So I'm just gonna use this broad end and we're gonna do little specks all over the house. And we're going to do the same with neutral grey, which is CG070. And I'm going to use the broad tip end, like the very tip of it, to do little specks all over the house. And I'll also use my white pen to make it look a little bit more stony. Okay, so that's looking good, and I think I'll just do like a blue and white awning on the house. I'll use Antwerp blue to match the jeans. So we've got B290, and we're gonna just go over the house awning. And I will grab a blue colour just to do some shading on the white ones. I think let's use a yellow grey actually. Okay, so let's grab a yellow grey. Oh, that's YG080 by the way. And since the sun is shining that way, the shadow would kind of form along this side. So that's fine. And then we'll use that neutral grey, CG070, to do a dark line on this side of the blue awning. And then for the windows for that house, I think we'll do like, I don't know if I should keep everything brown or try and make it a bit different. I might do like pale ochre, so it looks like a bit of a gold lining. Let's grab pale ochre. Where is it? Or yellow dahlia instead. Maybe let's do yellow dahlia. Okay, so I've got Y260. And gonna line that window. And I'll just use smoky blue for the actual like inside the windows. So that's B260 smoky blue. And just to help things stand out a little bit more, I might end up changing some of these details, but for now I think that's fine. Moving on to this house, I think I was gonna make it pink, or so I don't know if orange is too harsh. It could be cute. I could always make it pink with like an orangey brown roof instead. So I'm gonna pause on that. Maybe let's do the little floorboards and these first. So we're gonna use mocassin. So we've got YR250. And we're going to use that all over these floorboards, except for the ones where the stairs are, since I'm going to make that the same kind of stone. So just starting from, let's see, I don't know if that would be the same line. I'm assuming not. I don't know, maybe it is. I'm going to leave that line there. So we're going to start from here. This is just a base color. I will make it more like brown and probably a bit more woodsy, but And then we're gonna grab, I think we'll do dark suntan. If I can find where I put it. Oh, here it is. So that's E110. And we're just gonna sort of do it where some of those shadows are. So I'm not sure how heavily to cast these shadows. So then that adds like splashes of sunlight and whatnot. I'm gonna leave that like that for now, don't worry. We'll add more texture and whatnot. I do think I need to try out that white pen I got. So this is the jelly roll. It was like a set of 3. It came with, oh, where is it now? Here. It came with 0.5, 0.8 and 1mm. I'm going to start with the 0.8 one, since that's the one everyone seems to rave about. And I hope it just works straight away. I might do like a little squiggle on this side of the page. So first step is adding some, that's already really grey actually, just to add a stony texture to that house. Fab. And then also just to add like a frilly white sock peeking out of this little boot. Same with this one. This is really good, so well pigmented. Like it literally makes the black lines disappear. I don't know why I only started using this now. That's great. And I'm trying to think, where else did I want white? I did want some white in these little bushes, so I'm gonna add that. Okay, I highly recommend this because I've used so many different like white pens, but there's a reason why this is the most recommended, at least like from the people I follow. Okay, that's super cute. I am just gonna lightly line this first and then add tiny. Okay, that's looking gorgeous, guys. I'm obsessed. Okay, next let's do the fences, and we're pretty much just going to do them mocassine again and then use that dark suntan, but this time we are going to focus on creating more of like a wooden texture. So I've got YR250. and we're gonna use E110 dark suntan and kind of just like do similar sweeps, but trying to keep the center of the wood clear. And then don't worry, I will go in and make that look more wooden than it does, but for now that's what we're gonna do. And then for the little beach, I do think the best way for me to go about this is to just do maybe, I think mocassin, yeah, that makes the most sense. And we'll also do like some dark dots, but instead of doing dark suntan, I think let's just go for light mahogany, which is a lot deeper, but it will be a great contrast. So we've got E060, and I'm just going to start doing little specks on the beach, and then we'll go in with dark suntan E110 and just layer over where we've got some of that going on. I think that's perfect for the beach. And then for the blue water, I genuinely think aquamarine is the best bet, and I'm gonna have some of the sun reflecting into the water. So I'm gonna grab aquamarine to start me off, and also summer lemon. Yeah, I think that will be cute. And a little bit of chrome orange. So we're gonna start with summer lemon, but I don't know if I should go to yellow dahlia instead. It's less of a harsh yellow. Yeah, maybe let's do yellow dahlia. Okay, so we've got Y260, and we're just gonna do some light sweeps in the water, and also color our sun in. That is quite the muted sun. Let's definitely add summer lemon Y050 just to like mix it in the middle especially. Gorgeous. And then we'll add some of that into the water as well. And I'm gonna use chrome orange YR170. And we're gonna do a little halo and blend that in with yellow dahlia first to make it look less harsh. Okay, I think that's perfect. And then summer lemon on top. Fab. And then we'll have the softest chrome orange streaks in the water. And I will blend those out with summer lemon streaks. I may need to add one more stroke of chrome orange just in the middle. There we go. I think that looks gorgeous. And then next, I think is just adding that aquamarine B140 around the rest of the water body. And we'll do this in strokes. So where it meets here. Kind of do that. I'm gonna keep that very simple. Not trying to add too much depth to that, but I will add a bit more orange just where the blue meets the edges a bit. Yeah, I think that's fab. And we'll use that white jelly roll again to just blend with the water a bit, just like do some little circles where the waves are crashing onto the shore. And I think that's enough to really create that effect. And then going back to our fence situation over here, we're gonna grab dark brown, which is E310, and I'm gonna use the broad side to just sort of like create little line marks all over the fence. And that's like our little wooden effect, and I am going to do that all over the path as well. But I think that looks really good. I'm going to try and be careful doing this. I'm going to put myself at a bit of an angle and then just try and do the same along the path. Okay, I think that's looking good, and I will come back to it later if I want to make it a little bit more different. I'm gonna make this area here more like a grey stone, but first we need to figure out what's going on with that house. I wanted to make it orange, or just like an orange roof. I think I'm gonna do like an orange roof and then maybe like a pink house. That feels very me. So we're gonna make that a pink house. So I'm grabbing Shadow Pink RV270 and we're just gonna go for it. Okay, I think that's cute. So we've got a pink house and I'm gonna do the orange roof. I think I'll start with deep orange, E490. And then I'm gonna layer chrome orange on top. So we've got Y170. And from there, we're gonna add light mahogany. Yeah, so we've got E060. So starting with where it would be shaded. So that would be under this part of the roof. And then on these parts of the roof. And then I think just for like a bit of difference going on, I'm gonna grab a hot pink. So I think apricot pink could be cute for this. So we've got RV320 and I'm just gonna add like little bricks on the house. So like that, and just sort of spread it around. Okay, I think that adds some textural difference and I think that looks quite cute. I will add a little white line around each little brick and then maybe like a shaded side of it as well. So let's use probably dark orchid, actually could do just fine. So I've got RV200. I'm gonna check if that's fine or not. So perfect. And then for the white side, we're gonna use our little Jelly Roll pen and just do like an angle. Okay, I think that's a really cute little house. And I'll do the windows the same smoky blue. So we've got B260. And I'll make the windows the same, like orange as the house. So starting with, as the roof, starting with deep orange, we've got E490. I may just leave it like this to keep it simple. And then for the flowers, I think we'll do yellow flowers down here. So I'm gonna grab summer lemon again, and chrome orange and cadmium orange. And I'll also grab May green and olive green. So starting with Y050 summer lemon, I'm just gonna go all over the flower petals. And then I'm gonna use chrome orange YR170 to do the very centers to sort of match what we're going to do with the sunset. So just do that. And then we're going to do cadmium orange Y190 in the super center. There we go. And then I'm gonna do May green G170 for the green leaves. And then I do have a little gap where I'm going to put that shadow pink to match the house. There we go. Okay, I think this is looking very cute. I do need to do that grey stone, but I'm still to think what colour to do this house. I might just do it like yellow grey and just do it as stone as well. I don't know if that makes any sense. Yeah, maybe let's do that. I hope it's not too much stone going on. Okay, we're gonna do it. I'm gonna grab, I think I'll just do cool grey base, and yeah, we'll do cool grey base. Let's see where I've got my cool grey. Okay, so we've got BG070. Gonna do that all the way from back here. And all the way across here. And up the stairs. Okay, so I've got our grey laid down, and I'm just gonna do a sort of second layer around the areas that I want to be shaded. So that's just along here, and I will probably use a darker grey to make that a bit deeper. And then next I'm using CG070 Neutral Grey, and I'm gonna just do little dots, different sizes. Just speck them around. And then with that same dark colour, I am just gonna add a line around for a bit more depth where there should be some shadows. Okay, I think that's good. Next up, let's have a think. Ooh, okay, I have an idea. Let's do the window in there blue, like that smoky blue we've been doing. Okay, so we've got B260. So I'm just gonna do all in here. and also up here, but we're gonna add like lace curtains to pretty much all the houses, and I think that will look really cute. And then next we'll do, I think we'll make these flower pots red. So I'm gonna grab cadmium red, so R160. And actually I might grab coalescence first to just give it a bit more of a gradient, gradual build. So R200 first. So I'm going to do that as a base layer on all the pots. And also for this flower bed up here. And we're going to make the sails on this have a little red on them as well. And this leash. And then for a bit more depth, I'm going to add cadmium red R160 around. The only thing I'm debating is just making these flowers orange instead of having the yellow. So I'm gonna use orange. I need chrome orange. Here we go. I'm gonna use YR170 to do these flowers up here. And then I can gauge whether I can just do chrome orange. I'll then do cadmium orange YR190 in the very centers. And then do cadmium red in the absolute center. I do think that looks better, so I'm gonna change the flowers on the bottom and extend the chrome orange part so that it covers most of that yellow part. And then more of an cadmium orange center. And then I'll do cadmium red in the absolute center. I do like the yellowy tinge around, so I will do that again over this side. I'm just gonna grab olive green G190 and just add a line to these leaves down here. And I'll grab May green. I might replicate what I did in the bushes up there actually. I think that could be cute. So let's do celery yellow and May green. So starting with celery yellow again, everywhere that would sort of get hit by the light. And then blend that in with May green. And then using olive green, we'll add some depth. And then finally we'll use beige green. And I'll also use it down here. Perfect. And I'll grab my white pen and just do the tiniest little dots there. Perfect. And maybe just a white line. You can't even see it. But yeah, I think that looks very gorgeous, and I'm basically going to recreate that vibe in this little bush over here. And I'm going to start with the lemon, summer lemon again as the base, just because I kind of like how it peeks through a little bit, even though I end up covering it up. That looks lovely. And then going in with chrome orange, we're just gonna spread that all the way out and leave the tiniest little lining of yellow. And then using cadmium orange, we'll add that to the central parts. And then finally we'll add cadmium red to the very center. And that looks perfect. I will do the green parts now. So again, let's start with celery yellow. So there we go. I'm gonna start with celery yellow and do a very rough base layer. And then, to be fair, to make this bush a bit different, I do like how it stands out. I might not go too crazy with the May green and stuff. I might just do, let's see. So I do have May green here, but I might just make it a little bit softer. Sort of like, just like a shading line. Okay, I think that looks great. And then using my white Jelly Roll pen, we can like create those leaf lines. I think that looks really nice and it just adds something a little bit different. I am thinking of making that last house like a celery yellow color, but I don't know. Or I could do yellow grey. I'm not 100% sure what route I want to go with that last house. But let's do this little character and then we'll see what house matches them. But I'm feeling really happy with how this is looking so far. Okay, so I'm also going to give them some brown Ugg boots. And I think I'll just give her like a white jumper and some blue jeans to keep it simple. So let's start with the Ugg boots and then we'll do the jeans. So for the boots, we're gonna keep it simple and just do dark suntan. We'll just do deep orange actually, give her some like light Ugg boots. Yeah. So we're gonna do deep orange. some Antwerp blue jeans. So I've got Antwerp blue, and let's see. I think that's cute. And then I will do like mocassin for the teddy bear first. So I've got YR250. I have the jumper ending just about there. I'm just gonna add a bit of this to the boots to warm them up a bit. Okay, I think that's cute. I'm gonna do the black fine liner and just line where that ends and down here. I might make it more of a cardigan and do like a little button there and a little button there. I think that's cute. And then I'll use, I think I had like, yeah, here it is, Dark Orchid RV200 to do the nose and little blushy cheeks. I think that's very cute. I'm grabbing yellowish brown just to add some depth to the little teddy character. Okay, super cute. And I think the best way to make this is if I do a red cup. So we're gonna grab Coalescence again and do that as a base for the little mug in our hands. And then we're going to go over that with cadmium red. I'm just going to shift that. And then for the coffee, let's do light mahogany as a base, and then I'll probably do dark brown on top. or keep it a light mahogany. I think that looks pretty good. And oh yeah, I was gonna do those lace curtains, let me not forget. What else? We also have this house. Maybe let me do the stairs first. And I think I'll do those like dark brown color. So let's do light mahogany base. And then I'm gonna grab dark brown. To layer on top. And then also do dark brown for the arch. And then let me see where I put my dark brown. Okay, so I've got dark brown as well. And starting off, we'll put it in the coffee. And also just as like a little trim around the boots. And to help add dimension to the stairs. I'm really stuck between making this like a yellow stony kind of house versus adding like a minty green, but I feel like adding a minty green would end up just throwing this way off. So I think I am just gonna make it like a yellowy grey stone house, and I want to do it like mosaic kind of stone. So I'm gonna grab my pencil and just commit to that while that's fresh in my head. And I'm sort of just gonna draw like angled stones and just do it super rough, and I'm hoping it works out. Okay, I think that would do. So I've done like my outline. I'm gonna grab yellow grey and I think clay and maybe yellow dahlia, just to have a lighter shade in there as well. So I've got yellow grey. I've also got cool grey just in case. I'm just looking. I've got yellow dahlia, and I think I'll do clay or khaki. Maybe just grab both. So I'm going for like a very yellowy grey. So I'm just gonna interchange between those colors. I'm gonna start with yellow dahlia and do some random patches. Okay, I think that's quite nicely spread. And then I'm gonna use khaki. And then let's do maybe cool grey, just to add like a very obvious contrast. And then I've also got yellow grey, so we're gonna use that. Excuse me. And then lastly, I have clay. I may go over and do like a second like coat of some of them, but I like how it looks. I am gonna add some like darker outlines. Okay, I'm really happy with that. I'm gonna then use my white marker pen, my little jelly roll. Actually, wrong marker. I'm gonna use my black fine liner and do like an outline around those shapes just to solidify. I'm actually loving this. This has been so much fun. Okay, I think this is looking really good. I will grab my white fine liner and get started on those, what's it called? Those lacy curtains that I wanted to do. So I'm just doing this first. Oops, I curved that the wrong way. And then I thought to just do like a glass detailing instead here. And I'll just do some swells for the lace curtains. I don't know if I love that. Okay, I'm gonna leave that there and just do the basic white lines in the windows. Yeah, I kind of wish I'd not done that in those windows, but we move. That's okay. I think I will just go over it with a black fine liner. And then still add the white reflection lines. And then for these little, oh, let me just use yellow grey actually while I have it. So YG080, and I'm just gonna do a slight shading to the white cardigan. There we go, maybe where the mug is. Yeah, that's fine. And I'm thinking to just give her a red bag. So I've got cadmium red again. And I'm just gonna give her, I might make it burgundy actually. I think I'll layer currant on top. So I'm gonna do this as the base. And I'll do currant on top. So I've got currant 280. Oh gosh. I opened it a bit awkwardly. And I'm just gonna layer that all over the bag. And then for this little cat, I think let's just make him grey. So I'm gonna grab cool grey first as the base. Just to make him look a little bit cooler, I'll grab neutral grey and we'll give him some like shading around his little ears, over his back and tail, and just a little bit over his legs. And then I'm gonna grab Dark Orchid V200 and give him some little blushy cheeks. So cute. And then just using that white liner pen, I'll add like some stitch detailing around the bag, just so it has a bit of contrast going on. Okay, I think that makes it look a lot cuter. And maybe some white little whisker hairs. Oh, gorgeous. And on the boat, I'll make there we go, some white lines. And I'll add a little white highlight line. There we go, and also for this bit. And along that line. And then to softly highlight the character. And along the stairs. And then we'll finish up with the sky. I should probably just add some white dots to the stone stairs. And then I'll grab the colors for the sky and then we'll finish up. Now for the sky, we've got Summer Lemon, Yellow Dahlia, Chrome Orange, Cadmium Orange, Apricot Pink, Coral and Cadmium Red. I am gonna do quite a detailed ombre blend, but essentially for example, I'll start with Summer Lemon, then I'll go with that, and then back to that to blend. So each color I use, I'll go back a color to blend. I'll explain as I go, but I am going to try and do it quite quickly before the colors dry down. So I'm starting with Summer Lemon on the very bottom. And I go in circles since I find that's the easiest motion to blend out. So from Summer Lemon, I barely close the cap. I am moving on to Yellow Dahlia. This is more of a transition colour, going back to Summerly Lemon. And then, as you can see, I'm now moving on to Chrome Orange. Gonna blend that down with Yellow Dahlia, which was our little transitional shade, and also with Summer Lemon. And then from that, I'm going into Cadmium Orange. Back to Chrome Orange. Back to Summer Lemon. And then going up to Pink Apricot. I do need to blend a bit quicker than I am. Back to Cadmium Orange. And then back to Pink Apricot. And then I'm going to introduce Coral Essence. And that apricot pink really helps to lay down its foundations. And we'll top the sky off with Cadmium Red. And back with Coral Essence. And back with Cadmium Orange, sorry. And then lastly, back to Chrome Orange, going up, making my way down. And back to Summer Lemon. I may use Mocassin as the transitional shade here, since Summer Lemon is just way too harsh. Going into Chrome Orange. So I'm going to use Mocassin since it has like a peachy vibe to it, and that's perfect. Back to Summer Lemon. And I'm so happy with that ombre. That's gorgeous. I'm gonna just do grey blue around the clouds to top those off. I'm just gonna close all my caps before my markers dry out. Okay, so let's grab blue grey. If I can see where I put it. Okay, I found it. So I've got blue grey, and I'm just gonna do really soft line of that. Oh, this might not be as blue as I thought. Okay, that's still fine. I'll just do it softly around the clouds for some depth. And I'll put summer lemon on top for a bit of a glow. Okay, that's looking really nice. I'm super happy with that. I'm just gonna use cadmium red very, very lightly to add some dots to this bush. Yeah, then that really solidifies that depth. And I'll use it on the boat and then layer light mahogany or dark brown on top. So let's do light mahogany over the boat. I think that looks perfect. I'm not sure if there's anything else I should try and do. I'm happy with everything at this point. So I think I'm just gonna pack away and then I'll come in to do a little outro. So this is our final result. Thank you so much for coloring along with me. I hope this was the perfect cozy time for you and that you had as much fun as I did. I read every comment and I appreciate you all so much. And thank you so much to everyone who joins along every single one of these coloring sessions. If you want to keep the vibe going, I'll link some more Bobbie Goods coloring pages up here, and I will see you soon for our next video. Remember, I am trying to upload on the 1st, 10th and 20th of the month, so hopefully I'll see you again on the 10th. And yeah, so bye, see you soon, bestie.